Hello everyone and welcome back to the HearthCraft server with me, Tom B92. Now before we get too far into today's episode, I want to remind you all to please like and subscribe to the channel. My last 3 videos have had tremendous success in views, but my subscriber count hasn't gone up. Please do me a favor and support this channel. It doesn't take a great deal, just click down to the right. Now you might be wondering what I am stood underneath, and it's something I built in between episodes, and I'm just going to show you with a bit of free cam what this is. And some of you may instantly recognize this, and this is Ilmango's slime farm. Now this is a brilliant design. It doesn't require a slime chunk, it just requires a swamp, and with this design the slimes will spawn once you're far enough away from them. Because I'm underneath, there is none here, but I have done lots of AFKing, and this is just an hour of the AFK time in a quick time lapse. And you can see it just churns out the slimes, and I have around 6 shulker boxes of slime blocks now, and it's more than I know what to do with. So that gives us an idea that maybe in the near future we will set up a shop for slime. We'll have our copper farm obviously that we built 2 episodes ago, and it'd be good for us to start getting some diamonds in because, well, in between episodes I lost all of my gear. And I had to go and buy lots of books, which pretty much wiped me out of my diamonds. So yeah, I need to start making some income. And last episode we built the start of our mega base, these builds around here, and the feedback on that episode was incredible. It's the first episode really I've got feedback from you guys, and everything was so positive, so it's really encouraging for me. And I have lots of builds in similar fashions in this European style to come in the future. But now what we want to do is actually figure out what we want to do with this storage. There's a lot of shulkers. It's all organised at the moment, and I want to keep it that way. I want something automated. I want something simple, relatively simple to upkeep. And I am going to build it somewhere over in this direction. It's not going to be an entertaining build for me to time lapse, so I'm just going to put it together. There's lots of hoppers, lots of rails, and it's going to be a bit funny to put together. So let me go and put that together right now. This is MyZuma Games' multi-item storage system, and you may have seen a number of hermits put this together. And one thing that I've noticed in their episodes is they don't particularly explain what happens with this system, and that's partly why I didn't want to time lapse this, because I wanted to understand what happens. I like to know how the redstone works and not just build it and hope for the best. And I'd like to say I know everything that happens with this, but ultimately this is probably a little above my understanding. I know the core functions for it. So starting out the front here, down at this chest here is our input. It then goes up this dropper tower here to the top, where we then look to split it out, and this splitter system up here looks to see whether it's a non-stackable item, a shulker, or just a normal item. If it is a normal item, it will go into the chests over here, ready to go and be collected and sent through the chest array. If it's a shulker box, it will come down into the shulker unloader here, and the empty shulkers will end up going into these chests down here. Again, here we've got some item protection right down the bottom here, because there is a lot of filters, a lot of filter blocks, renamed blocks, you know how you do it in a lot of redstone filtering. And that will deal with that. If any of those come through the system, it will just send it into lava and delete it, rather than send it through the system and ruin all of your filterings. I'd fully recommend watching MrZuma Games' build tutorial. I'll try and link it in the description if I remember, because there are a lot of different parts that you just can't pick up from a schematic. There's a lot of different power levels in composters. You know, you can see here this one's got some compost going on. There's barrels with items in along the way to block other signals from a comparator circuit. This composter with a signal blocking this signal, but unless this one releases it, you know, there's a lot of different circuits going on here. This is kind of the brains of the operation. There's a button on the back here in case your minecart gets stuck, which mine has done a couple of times, and I found that was really because I was just unloading the area. You may have noticed that in between day and night there I lost all my levels. Yeah, I had an accident fall into the ground trying to do this next clip. what. Now I'm not going to bore you with all my filters around here because that's going to take me some time, and we'll probably continue to work on throughout the series as we get more blocks and more variations and stuff. These last two chests around here are completely uncategorized. You can see there's no slices to these ones. So these are going to be the items that you've not yet put into a filter. Now, something that I want to do for this build is get in some additional lights. Obviously, we've got the redstone lamps, which will trigger on the circuit. Something that we can do to get some easy light sources is create a frog light farm. Whilst I've been taking head breaks from sorting out the storage system, I've got myself up onto the nether roof, and I've also been gathering a frog army. I've managed to get into a few different places. I've got some portals here on the nether roof going into these biomes to make sure I can get all of the frog colours, and I'm really hoping this is going to be enough for me to start building this frog light farm. However, before I actually need some honey blocks, because these frogs, as you can see here, are leaping everywhere, and honey blocks as part of the farm will kind of stop those calculations and helps reduce some lag of the farm. So I'm going to try and pay Zorish a visit, and hopefully he's got enough honey blocks for me. Hey Zorish, I am in the market for some honey blocks. I am building a frog light farm. And well, you seem to be the man to sell honey. I am in search of maybe 2 stacks or so.
Okay, and that is the actual honey blocks that you would like, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, and what is it that I would get for this? I haven't put any prices in there yet, so if you are here to suggest a trade, I am all ears.
Well, recently I have finished a slime farm, so how about a trade for some slime?
That is perfectly fine, and definitely not a sticky situation. There you go, right there, right from the source, especially for you.
Thank you. I will be getting my frog light farm up and running very shortly, so maybe, I mean, the shopping district is kind of weird, isn't it? Maybe it will, disappear one day. Who knows? So we have our foundations of the frog farm built, and this is where the honey blocks came in handy. So these honey blocks here would, in the template farm, be normal blocks, but with the honey it stops the frogs from jumping. You can kind of see this in motion with these magma cubes down here. But I now need to get all the frogs in place. I have them off somewhere off in that distance. You can see I've tried to make a path off in the distance. So I am going to try and bring them all over, and if things go smoothly, the farm will be complete. Now, in action, I've been leaving it to run for quite some time, and I'm halfway up in the distance there here using FreeCam. And you can see here, we've just got a spawning platform here that the magma cubes will come in, and these iron golems will whack them down and move them down to small size. You can see they're working through them, and then when the small ones come by, they drop through the chains and the frogs will start to eat them. We've made a few custom changes to the storage system here, and we've just got it going into some automatic storage over here with a dropper circuit because we're building on the nether roof. I didn't quite move it up high enough, so there's just a small dropper circuit in here, and all 3 of the lights and the magma cream being sorted here. So I've been AFK above this farm for maybe 4 or 5 hours. You can see there's a few of the magma creams on top of the chains that don't quite make it through. I'm not too fussed about that. But in these chests here, I am full of frog lights. I have more than enough to keep myself going. I think it's time we head back to our storage room and actually put them to use. The whole reason why we built this farm in the first place. Hello? Hi, animals? Why are you all in the middle of my room? Ah. There's a lead. Now, I actually don't have any mob farms, any sheep, any pigs, anything at the moment. So nice for someone to have brought them up for me. Let's see where they're tethered to. Somewhere down here. Here we go. Oh, and there's a sign. Let's see what the sign says. Send my lead. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Sheep. I was reading that sign. Right. Oh, come on, stop dropping in. Send my leads back when you see this, lol. From Newt. Okay. They can be released. we've got plenty of random animals just scattered around our storage room now. I mean, before this episode is out, maybe we should try and retaliate somehow to Newt. We're on the way to Newt's through our nether tunnels with someone who will be buzzing to meet him. You see what I did there? And there happens to be an empty room opposite the bookstore here. Funny, we do have a bee's nest, and I think it would be entertaining if we can put this somewhere underground. The bee has been planted, and if you listen carefully, you should just about be able to hear him buzzing away in its bee's nest somewhere in this room. So hopefully that will puzzle Newt for a little while. I've left no blocks around it, so we can't use free cam to figure out where it is. So he's going to end up having to tear this room apart, and well, that'll be entertaining. All distractions aside, we are now back at our storage system, and I think what we just want to do is put one colour into each bit of this. Every section now has their lights in place, and at this point in time, I don't actually know which one I prefer the most. Obviously, as the season goes on, we will develop this room, decorate it, get a building around it. We're going to keep in style, of course, but for now, we're going to keep this as it is. And that is going to be it for today's episode. I hope you've all enjoyed it, enjoyed all the farms we've put together, and enjoyed a bit of the mischief we've done. If you have, please do remember to like and subscribe to the channel, as all of your support goes a long way. And I look forward to seeing you next time.